What is up, guys? Welcome back. So today we are jumping into our next painting video. We've been making a lot of painting videos for a little series that we've been making for Monster Fight Club's Borderlands game that came out about maybe like 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, something like that. So we've been steadily painting. Lately we've been doing a lot of gameplay and streaming, so if that is up your alley, check those out. Of course, all Borderlands games and stuff like that. But today, since it's a painting video, we're going to finish off the Marauders. And we are going to work on the badass Marauders. So we got some badass Marauders with our Monster Fight Club's Mr. Torgue's Arena of Badassery. And we're going to go ahead and paint these up. Now, what's cool about these is they are a different scheme than the original Marauders. These have like red pants, darker jackets. They're going to look pretty badass. So I don't know if I'm going to put Badass Marauder on the base as the base name, because that's a very long name. So I think for the badass enemies, I'm just going to put Badass, because when you look at the enemies, you can tell what type of enemies they are. So it's not that big of a deal. I just want to make sure the badass ones are different, stand out differently than the regular versions of those models. So let's go ahead, let's hop off of here and start painting. Okay, so once you get your mini primed and dry brushed with whatever color that you want to dry brush with or prime with, you now want to work on your base coats. We're doing this the same way that we did every model before, but if this is your first time watching one of my painting videos, we like to usually start with skin first, but this model doesn't have skin. They have gloves and a mask on and stuff, so we are going to start somewhere different. What we've been doing is we've been starting with the jackets on the Marauders. The funny thing is that this one is going to have a black jacket, but we're not going to use a traditional black paint. We're going to mix Tenebrau gray and we're going to mix basalt gray to make a very dark gray, almost black but not black, so that when we want to go to highlights, we can use the basalt gray, subtly, and we can use that to highlight that black area. Black is kind of very hard to highlight. So let's go ahead and get the jacket out of the way, and we'll be able to work on our next color. Okay, so with the Tenebrau gray, basalt gray mix, you see it's kind of dark. It looks like it's black, but it's really not a complete full black. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the next big piece of the model, and that would be the pants. With the badass Marauders, their pants are red, so I don't want to start off with a burnt red because it's dark. So let's go ahead and start with a dirty red. Still might be. We're going to use a deep red. I know it's kind of bright, but in the game, their red pants are on the brighter end, and we are darkening these up with a Graveler gray near the end when we start our glazing phase. So we're going to use a deep red for this part, and then we can move on to the next color. So with the red one now, we can now focus on the minor, smaller details. And we are going to start with a basalt gray, and then we're going to move on to a warm gray. There is no leathers with this model at all. The way everything looks on the picture of the game that I've seen so far of the badass Marauders, there's no like leather colors. There's like grays, blacks, reds, stuff like that. And I think that's why it stands out a little bit differently with them being badass enemies. So we're going to move on to a basalt gray. Any straps and stuff like that, we're not going to hit with a basalt gray. We're going to hit the gun up. We're going to hit the helmet. We are going to hit the main metallic area, so, and the shoulder pad over here. Everything else that we might even hit the little notches on here because we want to separate them colors, like, or these parts a little bit. But it's very minimal with the next couple colors. We're closing in and almost able to start our glazing. These are actually quite easy. We are going to actually put some white in the eyes because I think they glow yellow. So we can use a speed paint for that to make that glowing effect. So let's start with the basalt gray. And then we will use the warm gray after the basalt gray. So, alright. Okay, so now we have basalt gray. We're going to take a warm gray, and we are going to put that on all of the straps, pouches, even on his boots, because they are kind of a little bit brighter. And then we are going to put some white in the eye area, just a little dab in there, so when we can put some speed paint glazes on there, however you want to do it, it'll make the eyes light up a little bit. But we also want to dry brush a little bit of metallics on the metal areas. So we're talking about the guns, the clips and stuff like that, the helmet area, the boots also, because he has like metal tarsals on, so that is, you know, some areas that you want to hit. Then we will be able to actually start our glazing phase. Okay, so we have all of the colors on there now. The glazing phase is going to be extremely easy today. Everything is going to get hit with a Gravelord gray, and then the eyes are going to get hit with a yellow. And then we can let that dry. We can paint the base a Rhinox hide, and then once it's dry, we can start doing our highlights. Okay, so after we did our glazes and let it dry and put our base color on, we did our highlights. So I went over with the same red, and on the upper, you know, folds and stuff of the pants, gave it a little bit of a highlight pop. We went over with a basalt gray on the Tenebrow basalt mix, and that gives that a little bit of a highlight, which is great because it's hard to highlight a black area or a black paint. And then we went ahead and highlighted the warm gray areas subtly on all the straps and pouches. Now we can work on the base. We're going to paint the rim black. We're going to put the name on there. We're going to dry brush light earth, and we can add flocking and stuff like that. You can do that to your liking, however you want to do your bases. And then the badass Marauder should be done. And here is the badass Marauders, completely finished and ready to hit the tabletop. If today's video helped you out in any sort of way with painting up your Marauders for either Monster Fight Club's Borderlands or Bunkers of Badasses, be sure to leave this video a huge like. Also, if you know anyone that is having some struggle with finally putting some paint to the models, it's like a struggle when you see a lot of pictures online and you see a lot of work that's been done with, you know, miniature painting. The first initial time that you want to paint is like the biggest hurdle because you give yourself such expectations, but you don't need to do that. Everyone starts somewhere. So if you know anybody that is trying to tackle that, or even if it's you, just share my videos with them. Hopefully it gets them excited enough to paint their models, because it's all about being excited and wanting to give it a shot, give it a go. If it's your first model, it's not going to be perfect. It's not. Even these models, they're not perfect. You're constantly growing your skill and getting better at painting as you continue painting. But the first initial thing is to start. You can't get better if you don't start. So even if you want, you can get practice models and, you know, cheap models, and just try to learn the brushes, learn the paints that you're using, and eventually you'll build some skill there and you'll get better. So yeah, share this videos with those that need it. And of course, if you like this video or any of my other videos, leave it a like. Also, we surpassed 800 subs. This is an amazing thing. So if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, it would be appreciated if you did hit the subscribe button. It's completely free. There's no charge. It just builds up the community. It shows that you enjoy the content that I'm making, and it, you know, supports us without any cost, which is just amazing. And those of you that have been subscribed for a very long time or are new and join the channel, you guys are amazing. I love all of you guys for all of the support that you guys give us. Before I go, I want to say that I'm working on a Christmas special, which is going to be pretty fun. It is going to be a painting video, but it's going to be a fun Christmas special. So I hope you guys tune into that. That should be airing around Christmas, so probably Christmas Eve. It might be the day before Christmas Eve, because I want to at least drop it on a day that people at least will look at YouTube. And then we are also reaching our 1000th episode. That's crazy. To me, that's just insane. 1,000 videos almost on the channel. We are actually doing a special for that too, because that's a big goal that we're about to reach, and that's crazy. That's a lot of commitment and a lot of time that I put into the channel, and I enjoyed every bit of it. Every bit of it. From those of you guys that dropped in on our streams, and for those of you guys that commented on my videos, you guys are all amazing, and this is why I do it. So as always, thank you guys for checking out today's video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.